Hi everyone, it's Kirstine from the Mustard Tree Trust.
Hello there, boys and girls. How nice to see you. Oh, who are you? Oh, well, hello, boys and girls. This is Ditzy. And, well, what are you, Ditzy? Because I'm not very sure what you are. Oh, okay. She's just a Ditzy. Apparently, she doesn't know what she is either. I quite like that, though. It's quite good not to label somebody, isn't it? Just choose your name, and that's what you are. Excellent. Well, nice to meet you. Yeah, I thought we'd stay inside today because it's very windy outside, isn't it? Yeah, and oh dear, Ditzy's telling me that a pear fell on her head when she was outside earlier. No, I don't think it was meant to fall on your head. I don't think anybody threw it. I don't think the tree threw it at you. It's just what happens at this time of year when it's harvest. They're ready to fall off the tree. So, harvest? Is that a new word for you? Well, it's really good to ask about new words. Harvest is this time of year. It's when everything in the garden and in the fields and on the trees is ready and ripe and ready to eat. So we gather it all in. So if you've grown anything in your garden, or maybe if you've got a tree or something near you, you might actually want to collect them in at this time of year too. There's lots of things we harvest, like conkers and nuts and apples and pears. We sometimes harvest them too. So by now everything is usually collected in, and so we often spend this time of year thanking God for everything that He's done and provided for us. What's God got to do with it? Well, that's a good question too. You see, we just put seeds in the ground and then we kind of leave them. And after that, Christians believe that it's God who does all the watering with the rain, and He brings the sunshine, and God makes everything grow. Yeah, sometimes we do help. But it's amazing, really. We put seeds into soil and they just grow into flowers and trees and plants. We often do have to help them along a little bit, especially if it's been very dry. But most of it is God's work. And then, that's right, yeah, so we collect it all in and then we can eat it. So think about what you've had to eat in the last few days. Have you eaten an apple? Yeah, I know you didn't want to eat those pears. That's fine. But maybe you've eaten an apple, or maybe you've had some meat, or maybe you've had lots of different vegetables. They're all helped and to be grown by God. So at this time of year, we often say thank you to God for them. Yeah, Ditzy's just reminded me that sometimes we have more food than we can eat. We're very fortunate in this country, because in this country most of us have more food than we can eat. And we can go to supermarkets and just buy it off the shelf. But that's not the same all the way around in the world. Yeah, some people have to work very, very hard for their food. And they don't have supermarkets to lift it off the shelf. And in those countries, they are even more thankful for God for all of the stuff that they get. Think about people harvesting grain in countries that doesn't have much rain. It must be very hard work. Well, yes, you're right. In this country, there's often people who don't have enough money for food, and we don't have enough food to eat either. Often, though, the schools help that. Yeah, they do. Often, in your school, you might be collecting food to give to people who don't have very much food in your community. We often give it to places called food banks. And food banks is where you go if you haven't got quite enough money this week or this month to buy your food, and the food bank will give you some food just to help you get through. It is a good idea. Yeah, it's a very good idea. Maybe your school is collecting food. No, they won't be collecting pears. Well, they might do, but it would have to be in a tin. The food we collect to give to people during Harvest Festival is often of the tinned variety, because that means we can keep it and give it to people who need it rather than having to eat it all up now. Well, I don't know. Maybe the children can't speak to their teachers. That's what Ditzy would like you to do. She would like you to speak to your teachers and see if you are going to give some canned foods to people who haven't got quite so much money. Would that be a good idea? Yeah, that sounds like a great idea. Yeah, Ditzy says they can have all the pears, but I don't think anybody's going to want the pears that we have in our house because they're not very nice ones and they're a bit rotten. And actually, yeah, they keep falling off the tree. Well, I hope you've enjoyed our little talk today about harvest and what you can do to help other people who might not have as much food as we do. Do you think that's a good thing to do? Yeah? Okay, so I'm going to say bye for now. And Ditzy, can you say goodbye? Oh, that was a bit scary. Bye!